Welcome back to another edition of Trudel's Weekly Take presented by Health Alliance. And as always with Jean-Guy Trudel, I'm Andrew Mossbrooks. We're talking about a lot of different things before the holidays here. It's actually going to be our last one before New Year's. I'm out of town for a week.
Very nice. I know it must be nice to be a radio guy.
Must be nice to be an athletic trainer, too. You get 3 weeks of your Max Finley. I just get one.
Very true. Very true.
You guys are winning a lot of games. That's nothing new, 13 of 17. But what was different was Tuesday morning, almost 7,000 kids here, 2-1 game. Great atmosphere. A great game, honestly. From a broadcast standpoint, I thought it was just the best hockey game. It had a playoff feel, did it not?
That's what I told everybody. It's a 2-1 game. A lot of people are like, it can't be that good. I thought it was a phenomenal hockey game. Yeah. It was a playoff speed. The pace was phenomenal by both teams. Physical, very physical hockey game. And you could see, I think the standings had a lot to do with it. I think they came here with the attitude that if they beat us on Tuesday, they would have tied us in the standings. So I think a lot went on the line. And for us, it was kind of a great challenge of not only playing at 10:30 in the morning, but having those 7,000 kids and also a new opponent. It's always nice, you play Evansville, you play Quad City so much. It's kind of nice to have a new group come in town and see what they're all about and kind of see where we match up against those big teams. And because we know Knoxville to me had one of the best summers recruiting. They brought in a lot of talent, and they already had a lot of talent last year. So it was a great challenge for us, great test, and I think we played very well, and they kind of raised our level because of the speed they have.
And I think maybe one of the unsung heroes, when you talk about playoff hockey, the other thing I always think about is the whistles tend to stay away a little bit. You kind of let the boys be boys or let the men be men. Junior Strager was the head of officials. Again, I know it's something we almost never talk about on any of these things, but the officiating crew did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I actually went after the game and thank him. I mean, it was phenomenal. They let the boys play. It was great. And I always say, that's what we're getting away, not only at the pro level, but at the junior level and the youth level. They try to get involved way too much in the game. I mean, let the boys play. And it always comes out to be a faster game. I remember coaching midget hockey a few years back with my son playing, and every time the ref would just let the boys play, it'd be a fast-paced game. When a guy try to get involved too much, it's kind of slowing down the pace all the time. And I loved it. I think both teams loved it. 2 penalties each side and just high-flying hockey. We went like stretches of 4 minutes without a whistle, so it was a lot of fun.
And I think the story going into the game, we've already talked about a lot, but the whole Darren McCormick situation with him leaving, I think the question was, okay, we've got a lot of really talented players, but, obviously some people need to step up here because there is an absence, and Alec Baer provides that, sort of an unsung hero. He hasn't scored a lot of goals this season, but we've talked before about how much he does. Well, it finally shows a little more on the goal category because he notches both. And that first goal, just that you can tell. I mean, when you watch it, he gets the puck right in front, and instead of just quickly slamming on net, he takes that extra second. Those are the kind of plays mentally that shows those guys are a little ahead.
That's the difference between a great offensive guy and a guy that's not used to being in those situations. And I said it before, when a guy gets 70 points in the dub in Major Junior, he's a good hockey player, and I think his whole line. Oglin was an absolute beast out there. I mean, he probably had eight very good hits, and then you had Cody. That I think it was Cody's best game of the year. I thought he was involved. I thought he didn't quit on plays. I thought he kept his stick involved, and of course Cody's game is to go to net and be physical, and he did that also. So that line as a whole played great, but I think it was just everybody. Hageman, I think I counted in the first 2 periods 6 pure scoring chances by himself against a goalie, and Hags usually doesn't miss those that many. So I think as a whole we played a really good fast-paced game, and we needed it. It's like I said, we played, and I don't mean anything bad about Evansville Quad City. It's just that when you see the same opponent, I'm sure they feel the same way. You just get bored. I mean, you just see the same team over and over again, and I think players just kind of get bored. The same thing for Evansville. I talked to their coach, and they're like, "Man, we're kind of tired of seeing you guys." Yeah, I mean, so now playing Knoxville, which come here and they had that energy, and I think it was a well-played hockey game. I was really impressed with both teams.
So to be frank then, I mean, you talk about playing the same team over and over. Well, you've got Quad City twice. So is one of the challenges about getting players up when it's the same team?
It is. And it doesn't matter where they're in the standings. I don't care if Quad City would be first or last. It's just getting a team up to play this team 12, 13 times in the season, and seeing him quite often and know pretty much every every little corner of the rink in Quad City, same as they probably know every little corner in the rink here in Peoria. So it's getting the players up, and it's getting the players not to be on vacation too soon, because the Christmas break is coming. And we saw when we had our last break, the last game, we kind of didn't show up at all. So it's about, to me right now, this weekend is about, my coaching job is, we kind of know what they do, they know what we do. It's going to be about finding that motivation, finding that, that little extra step that we need to beat that team.
So an honest question, when you talk about finding motivation, does it matter at all for you guys as players that the Stanley Cup is in the building, both games?
Honestly, no. For players, it doesn't matter. We have a job, and I was talking this morning at the radio station with Greg and Dan, and they were asking me about the record when I got. They gave me the jersey and everything else. And for me, the whole time I was on that carpet, all I was thinking about was winning the game. Yeah. I didn't, you don't think about the awards. You don't think about what's in the building. You're just thinking about winning a hockey game. So for us, it's not going to matter at all. I'm for fans, if I'd be a fan, it'd be a great experience for me to get to see. I saw it last time in Major Junior. So and we're going to be lucky enough to see it before the game. But for us, no, it's just, every single game is just, you have to, it's about winning the hockey game and not thinking about anything that's going around. Even yesterday, the crowd was amazing with those kids and the noise and everything else. But I'm sure the players, if you ask the players, they were really focused. And that's what I loved the most, I think, about yesterday's game. We were really emotionally engaged in every aspect of the game. Yeah. When we had to kill, we were like, guys were on the bench and talking and really emotionally engaged. And it was a lot of fun to coach that game.
I know that you guys got 2 points on the weekend. Something else that we've talked about off air, you get 2 out of 4 on the road. Most teams are okay with that when it's 2 games. But did you kind of look at it and think, yeah, but in my eyes, we've lost 3 of our last 4, and we needed that game against Knoxville?
Yeah, we talked about it. We were a little disappointed because it was the first time we lost 2 in a row in a season, and I always say great teams don't lose 2 in a row. And yes, it's a skill competition, but you still want to win those games. We were 80 seconds from winning that second game, and I just didn't think the details, and that's what great teams like Knoxville, and I don't say Evansville's not a great team, but maybe different team, the way of saying it. Different team coming in the building just brings out more of the details and the habits, and the first period was like 2 heavyweights going at each other and kind of feeling each other out, and then in the second period we changed a few details that we saw. They were kind of giving us a few things, so we took advantage of it, and I thought we had a great second period offensively, and it just carried in the third and got the game winner there. But I was happy with getting 2 points, and I always say skill competition, it's not a loss. We don't count it as a loss. In overtime, I count it as a loss because you have players on the ice kind of scoring a goal. Skill competition is different, but we're still disappointed in the way we had to go to the shootout. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there, and I think we gave a lot of opportunities that we usually don't give.
Scouting report on Quad City. We've seen them 100 times, it feels like, but things change from week to week. This team's actually been struggling a lot. The Mayhem had been struggling a lot after they played you. Now Quad City's sort of dealing with the same effect. In fact, they lost to the Mayhem down south back-to-back games last weekend that were decided in the third period. But I know you're not looking at that as a wounded opponent. What are you seeing in the Storm?
I see it as an opponent that won his last game, and now they gain confidence out of it. They beat Birmingham on Sunday, so they had a 3-3, and to come out, you play 2 in Macon, which is not an easy place to play. Then you have to go all the way to Birmingham and then play there for a 3rd and 3, and actually come out with the win there and shoot out. So I see it as a team that probably gained a lot of confidence on that. I don't look at any opponent as wounded or anything. I believe that every game has its story, so we have to be ready. We, like I said, our details, our habits, and I think our getting up for that game is going to be a big thing to try to get the players to. So we had a great day off today. I don't call it a day off, maybe a recovery day for the players to kind of recover from a morning game, and we had the games and a lot of traveling and stuff like that. So we recovered today. Tomorrow we're going to have a great practice, and I know they're going to be ready for us because, like you said, when teams are desperate and looking for points, it's a scary opponent. So I never look at it as a wounded person. I look at it as a dangerous person. So we're going there with knowing that they're going to come out hard, especially at home, and they're going to want to beat us, of course, our biggest rival, and we always have every year a trophy on the line against them, so I'm sure they're going to be up for it. And for us, it's just about doing the same thing we did against Knoxville, kind of limit the chances against and start really, I thought our second and third efforts were phenomenal, second and third period, and finally our sticks were long and we did the things that I like. So I was really happy, and we just got to keep it going there on Friday.
And Eric Levine's been your number 1 goaltender, but it looks like we're going to see Dylan Kelly this weekend?
Yeah, Dylan deserves it. He came in, and I think he's getting better every single day. I'm happy with him. Great guy. I think he's a great goalie. I think he's starting to learn how we want to play, seeing Eric and where we give the shots from and things like that. So he understands what we want to do, and he's going to get in there and get his chance. And I just don't want to put that extra pressure on him, because I know a lot of times you come in, you're a new goalie, you play one game in 2 weeks, you want to have to, kind of give it a little too much and move too much. I just told him to, he's just going to have to be himself, stay in that net, be big, because he is a big goalie, and he'll be just fine. I know the players are going to be up for trying to get him the first win as a roomman.
Well, Kelly and Levine are going to be in goal for a home and home this weekend. It's with the Quad City Storm, and on Saturday, December 21st, as we talked about, Stanley Cup is in the building here. You can get a photo opportunity with the cup, along with some superheroes on Superheroes Night. They'll be around the concourse. 7:15 puck drop Saturday, 7:15 puck drop in the Tax Slayer Center on the road Friday. For now, that's going to do it. However, for this edition of Trudel's Weekly Take, and Coach, it is our last one before the new year. So, happy holidays.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you so much for the support all year. Family and friends, love you guys, and I can't wait for 2 big games this weekend, so please come on out, especially Stanley Cup. It's once in a lifetime. You have children at home. I know a lot of youth hockey teams are off this weekend, so make sure you bring them in. Picture with the Stanley Cup doesn't get any better than that.